Alright guys, going on, it's Greenlight Fire Stage 7, and this truck is, I just picked it up, it had a ladder rack on it for the green lights. I took that off because today we were making a custom brush truck with this. Now a lot of you guys will probably be a little upset with me, but I took a Matchbox F550. Let me grab one for you so I can show you what I'm talking about. One of these trucks. And I took the body off of it and cut basically this off and then came up and around the bumper. So give you something like this. What we're going to use that for is going to be the pod for the back of the truck. I've had a lot of people ask me about customs and what I do for customs and how I make my customs and stuff. So I figure I'll go ahead and make a video on how I make my customs. So what I did was I went ahead with my Dremel and I just cut this out. There's a little bit of some kind of melting in there that I just got to pop off real quick from the metal just being, or from the plastic being cut. But, you know, it'll fold up and it'll melt and you just go along and pop it off. So, and I just kind of, like right here, you can just get in there with your nail. Just kind of break it off like that. So, the idea of this is going to fit like so in the bed of this truck to give it a pump housing. I may actually end up cutting a little bit more off. So we'll just do that real quick. So what I did was I fit it. And the idea of it is to sit on the tops of the rails. You can see that little space there. That means this, back section here, where this is a little too high. So see where that lip is on that bumper there? There. I'm going to snip that off real quick. If I can. There. Just like that. So now, when we put that in there, see how that fits pretty flush? So there. That's kind of the idea we're looking for. So what we'll do is we'll get this about as straight as we can get it in the sides and in the back, and we'll end up gluing it in. So let me go ahead and do that now, and I'll come right back to you guys. Alright, so just like that. I used this Gorilla Glue gel. I prefer the gel better because it doesn't drip. So we'll go ahead and we'll let that sit. Now, what I do is when I build in my trucks, I kind of focus on what I want to do for a body. I want to figure out kind of what I want to do for lights. And I kind of just think about where I want to place lights and stuff like this. With this being a brush style truck, I do have this piece here where that light bar was on. I mean, where that ladder rack was covered. So I know that that's about on this truck where I want to place my flashing lights. Some people will place their flashing lights more in the back, more in the middle. I'm going to go kind of with the style that Greenlight did. Actually, I'll show you what I did on my Chiefs truck, which is also a Dodge. See how I did the lights closer up here? Because this imperfection's back here, I'm actually going to move it back a little bit. So, on the smaller trucks, I usually do 3 lights. I do a low pro kind of deal. So I have these, they're built by the Paper Studio. And they are these gems. So this is what I usually use for my lights. So when I'm building these trucks, I usually like to put 2 on the grill, and then you know, 1 on each side of the grill, and I will put 3 on the back. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop this open, and I'll show you guys kind of how I do that. All right. So as far as the front lights go, we'll do something like that. I kind of want to keep kind of matching it with this truck, just so it doesn't look a little awkward and out of place. Next, we'll go ahead and we'll do the lights for the roof. What I usually do is, these are all kind of attached, so I just grab 3 of them, and I kind of leave them in that spacing that they're with. So I grab 3 of them. You can see I'm holding 1 and the 3 are right there. And what I'll do with this one is, because we have this imperfection on the roof here, I'll actually place my middle one right in the center over that imperfection. So just like that. You can see it covers the imperfections. Now in photos and whatnot, you won't see that. Now, if you wanted to have something a little bit taller, similar to this light bar here on engine 7, you would just do 2 rows, one on top of the other. I know the reason I've kind of added these is because I know people have kind of asked me about that. Alright, so now I kind of just go around and decide, do I want to put some lights on the rear? Do I want to do double light bar on the roof? I think because this is tall, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to actually do, let's see. It looks okay. I think we'll be alright. Just sure that's glued good. That is glued good. You can always check your glue by picking the truck up by it. So this one, it actually got glued a little crooked sideways, but that's not really a big deal. Can't really tell. If it really is something that would bother you, because I tried lining it up the best I could with these. Sometimes stuff like this happens. If you're really kind of anal about it, you can pop it up. I don't really care because this is just kind of a quick shelf custom for me that I'm doing. So, some trucks will have lights in the rear. I think with this truck, I'm going to go ahead because this is a brush rig. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put just some scene lights and stuff in the rear. So what I'm going to do, and these small brush trucks, people don't really overdo lights that much with them because you know, they're small and whatnot. Don't mind the banging. Yeah, fiance is doing some cleaning and she told me that I could make a video. So I have these silver pearls, or they're just the same brand as the red ones, and I'll place those kind of in the rear. Just like that. So we have a little bit of rear scene lights in the rear of the truck. I think we'll do a little bit of color. Let me find myself. So just before I did this video, I did... let me give it 1 second. Alright, I just had to find something to write on, so I just grabbed some of this green tape here. Basically, I'm going to use these Sharpie oil-based paints, and I'm going to do some painting with this. So I think what I want to do is I want to do red on the reels. So I just do that a little bit just to make sure this is good to go. The reason I keep pausing is because it's just kind of far away, so I can kind of get up close and then put it back. So just give me 1 second. Alright, so we got something like that. That's the red on the hose reels. Now we can look into just coloring in some other things. I brought a red marker and a black marker, and I'm going to grab my white one. And I'm going to take the white one, I'm going to do some coloring on these gauges here. And maybe I'll use the black to fill in some of this. And let me go ahead at it, and we'll come right back. Okay, so I came through here and I painted in the red on the reels. These rear lights red, because those would be rear flashing lights for the skid, as well as the instrument panel white and black, and some other little small things white and black. So that about does it for this truck. One other things I wanted to talk about. I use a Q-tip in case I get a little bit something on. I can wipe it off, so it gives it a better, crisper look before the paint dries. And I'm going to come through and touch up with the red a little bit more. There's like one spot here. Could know a little bit better. Alright, I think that will just about do it for this truck. One other thing, people are asking me about my signature, or not my signature, but my antennas. So I'm going to show you how I do my antennas. I have a wheel from actually the truck that donated that. So what I do is I pull my wheels all the way out and I cut basically in the center of the axle. So I just kind of eyeball it. Doesn't need to be perfect. just use some wire cutters and kind of just eyeball it. You heard that snip. And you can pull out your wheel. And you have yourself this. And you can see there's a little flat piece, keeps the wheel from coming off. That's what will go right up on there. And you can trim it up and down if you want it to be taller or shorter. I actually have one that's a little bit smaller. I didn't cut it exactly center, so this one will actually be smaller and it'll look better. So let me go ahead and glue that real quick. Alright, there you guys go. So what I do for that is I just kind of move it forward and back and left and right. And as far as numbering of this truck, I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to do yet. You guys will have to check out my Instagram to see that. I think this is going to be, I have a brush 8 already. I think this will be brush, I guess 7. This will probably be brush, I don't know yet. We will see what happens. This might become brush 7 or something. Brush 4, brush 5. This might become brush 7 or brush 8. This might be brush 8. Actually, I might call this Forestry 8 because it's green, so it can be part of the U.S. Forestry Department. I think that's what I'm going to end up doing, is making this brush 8, and it'll be Forestry 8. So yeah. Alright guys, I will talk to you guys later. Hope you enjoyed the video on how I made this. If you guys have any questions, as always, reach out to me on Instagram, Facebook. And that is it. Alright guys, see you later. Don't forget to comment, rate, and subscribe. And follow me on Instagram at GreenLightFireStation7.